Boom, boom. This is Kenrick coming at you from the corner. How's it going today? All right, so let's see. We got Azure Lane up today. Moving along right through the Northern Fleet event. It's called the Northern Overture. Call to Arms is the Northern Front right here if you want to see what they call it. It's an interesting little event. It's got a few things going on. I've spoken about them previously. One of the things to think, the actual event's going to end on 3/18, which is in another 8 days. But be advised that the actual rate up event for the Northern Fleet is going to end on the 11th. So that's going to end tomorrow. So you definitely want to make sure that you do all of your pooling today if you have not gotten all of the ships, because these ships will not be, as near as I can tell, um, in random drops. This is purely for the event. So if you want to get all the ships, you're going to have to do it. You're going to have to do it from the pool. Okay, so you just go into your build, and right here it is. So you want to try to get all of these ships if possible. I've got them all except Mercuria. I have not been able to draw Mercuria, but I do have all of the others. And I did a previous video about those ships and how they work together as a fleet. It's not a bad fleet. It has some. It's not as good as some of your newer fleets that have retrofitted ships in it, but there'll be retrofits for some of the ships, of course. Now that they've been released, I wouldn't surprise if in the next month or two, maybe that you'll see an update which will push down some retrofits for some of the destroyers or some of the Vanguard ships in the Northern Fleet. But you want to make sure that you can try to pull for them. But yeah, like I said, I have all of them except for Mercury. I haven't been able to pull her. But I've been working up. I've got Ganget fully maxed, and I have Aurora fully maxed. So I've got Ganget right here. You have to get him to 70 to fully do the limit break. That's as far as you have to go in terms of limit breaking them. Is just get to 70. Once you get to 70, you can perform the final limit break, and that's all you need to do to complete the mission event. So I've got those two done, and I'm working on. I'm going to get Minsk, Tashkent, Shapayev, and possibly Sovetskaya and Grozny if I need to. I'm not sure how. If you look at the mission event, you get 400 and 600 for some of the ships, and you only need 3,400 points. I've got 1,200 so far. So I think I can get by with just those three in some type of combination and reach the 3,400. I need to get the chat border. So you want to focus on that. But like I say, that's the 11th. So this ends tomorrow. Okay. So make sure that 227 to 3. So this ends tomorrow. So if you have not gotten any of the ships, today's the day to do some pulls. If you got enough wisdom cubes, just do as many pulls as you can. See if you can get these ships. I've had pretty good luck. I've got I got two Tashkents out of there, a couple of Auroras. Just haven't been able to get my hands on Mercuria. But I'm going to do some pulls this evening and see if I can't get my hands on her. I'll go ahead and do another 5 here. See if I can get her. But yeah, she's the only one I'm looking for, so we'll see what I can come up with. But yeah, so you definitely want to make sure to do that today. I've been getting a lot of Northampton in there. I got to do an enhance. My dock is full. Just working on getting some of my ships leveled up. Right now, I've got some of the Northern Fleet ships running in. I'm not gonna. I'll just throw all of these on Shuhu, finishing her up, just so I can finish my build here real quick. You should always confirm and use the same ship when you do your enhancing, because you get 2 times experience for it. So, okay, Queen Elizabeth, Oklahoma. Bam, there we go. Pimmy up Mercuria. So I do have all the ships now. Huh, that's lucky. So let's go ahead and finish this out here. Yeah, I want to lock that, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at her specs. So that was fortunate. I'm very happy about that. So I do have the entire draw. Let's take a look at her. Let's take a look at her stats and see what she's pushing out for us here. So be curious. Let's put her in the favorites and let's take a look. What do we got here? We've got increases this ship's damage dealt to BBs and CAs by 5% when this ship takes damage. 15% chance for it to evade all enemy attacks for 5 seconds. Has 20% cooldown when activated. So this has a similar um, takes damage 15% chance to evade all enemy attacks. So the only problem with that is that's not static. I'm sorry, that is static. When this ship takes damage, 15% chance. That's static. It's never going to increase. Um, it's not green. If it's green, it's dynamic, and that means as you upgrade the skill level, you will see an increase in that number. But this is not going to happen. It's a 15% chance. Um, for you could probably get that up to 10 seconds or something. But anyway, but at 15% chance, I would not consider that to be. It's an okay skill, but it's not that. It's only going to proc 15% of the time. Now, on the upside of that, you understand when the ships take damage. So in some of the heavy in game, 10, 11, 12, you're going to be a lot of damage is dealt out. So she's going to get hit quite frequently. Especially if you put her on the ends, on the front and sides, or on the sides, the right and left flank. She will, that's where most of the damage comes is taken. So you always, if you don't know that, your Vanguard fleet, the three front, you always want to put your most powerful tanky ships on the ends, the left and right, and leave the weakest ship in the center because damage, as the way the ships move, damage usually occurs on the ends. So yeah, so it's not a bad skill. In some of the higher levels, it might prove effective. Um, Unfortunately, it's just for itself, and it's a 20-second cooldown. So maybe if you get really lucky on the procs, it might proc twice. Um, 10 seconds is not a bad. It's all damage. It's evade all enemy attacks, so it's not going to get hit when she does it. So it's not a bad. It's not a bad. It's not a bad skill, but and then it's got a ship's damage dealt to BBs and CAs by 5%, and that's a dynamic, so that can be increased. So it's not a bad skill. Um, After you get it fully leveled, it might be interesting, and then she just has all-out assault. So this is what she's got. So it's not. Yeah, we'll see. We will see. But yeah, so I've got all the ships. So you want to make sure that you pull on that today before it ends, and continue to work through. And don't forget to take a look in here. I went ahead and purchased the gun that was in here, and mainly now I've just been focusing on the blueprints. I've still got 8 to go. I've got 470 intel points. Just working on getting Monarch taken care of. But yeah, so I just wanted to do an update to remind everybody that this ends tomorrow. And not to confuse that with the event. The event itself doesn't end until the 18th. Okay. Okay. So you'll be able to run the event levels and get intelligence points all the way up until the 18th. It's just that you will not be able to pull. You will not have the rate up ability to pull on the ships. That ends tomorrow. So you definitely want to take care of that today while you've got the rate up going with you. So get in there and pull those ships out. It's also a good time to utilize on these events as on the events as you run them. You have a +3. I'm in the hard levels right now. Let's switch back to normal. You have +3 on each of these events each day for the A's and B's, B1, B2, B3, A1, A2, A3. Always have a +3 on them each day. So you want to run them at least once a day because you get 3 times the intelligence points, okay? So that's a good time to put in a fleet that you want to level up. What I've been doing is I've actually made up a northern fleet that I actually run. I can't run it right now because I'm running a the commission, the 1200 oil commission in there in that. But what I've been doing on this, I just renamed this my NF to stand for Northern Fleet, and I put all my Northern Fleet ships in here. Um, and then I add a Kashi up here in the corner or one of the corners to actually do some healing for my front, healing for my ships because they're a little bit weak. And then I run A1, A2, A3, and B1 with them. They start to get a little, start to die in B2 after a couple levels. But this way allows you to get uh, experience points in them and level them up faster because you got to get them to 70 before you can limit break them. So that's one of the quickest ways to do it. Make sure you also put your Northern Fleet ships in the dorm. Okay, that's another good source of experience for them. And make sure you're running. Make sure you're running this whenever you have a chance, and that's the 18,000 experience points here. And as you can see, I've got all my Northern Fleet ships in here. You have to have one level 70 ship in here. So I put Saratoga in here just because I'm working on her. I just retrofitted her. But I've also got Akashi in here too. So yeah, so you want to put them in here and run a commission with them. Now remember, when they're in a commission, you can't use them on anything else. The only reason I'm doing that right now is because I'm running. I finished all my +3s for today, so I'm running the hard levels now. I just completed C3. Yeah, I just completed C3, and I'm now going into D, and that's what I'll be running for the rest of the day and for the rest of the thing is just finishing it to get to D3, and to get the points for that. So they've been going through. I don't think I've got 2 fleets running, and both of them, over 10,000 on both Vanguard and Main. So they seem to be running through. I can always add healing if I need to. But yeah, so get in there and pull on that banner. Okay, now and to get those ships to 70, so be making sure you're running commission with them every evening before you close up. It takes 10 hours, so make that 1200 oil that gets them 18,000 experience, and use them to run the easy levels that you can. Just make a formation and just throw the Northern Fleet ships in there, and that's a good way to get them up to 70. And then once you get them up to 70 and fully limit broke them, you can go ahead and you can, unless you're going, I'm not going to focus on building the Northern Fleet at this moment. So once I get them to 70, I just rotate them out because, I put them in your dorm as well. But, there's only 5 slots in the dorm and there's like 7 ships. So, don't have room for all of them. So, like right now, there's actually 8 of them. So I've taken Ganget and Aurora out, and I've got these ships in there right now. Now, as soon as Minx will probably be the first one to go into 70. I'll get her into 70 in a day or two. And once she gets to 70, I'll fully limit break her and throw her out, and I'll put Mercuria in here into the dorm. And hopefully by the 18th, I should be able to get her close. I have to make a determination. But as you can see, these are all Northern Fleet ships in here right now. So they're just wandering around. Got to sleeping, and so just get a little kitty cat right there. So yeah, that's where we're at with that. But yeah, that ends tomorrow. So you want to make sure that you do your pools today to try to get all the ships. And yeah, continue to do those +3s once a day, and run. Use the Northern Fleet ships for that. It's very easy to do A1. All A1, A2, A3, and even B1, and to a certain degree B2, you should be able to complete those easily with the Northern Fleet ships as long as you're starting to level them up. So use them in that, put them in your dorm, and run commissions in the evening before you close off that big 1200 oil commission, and you should be able to level up the ships to 70 in a fairly quick time. Took me about 4 or 5 days. To get those 2 completed, and as you can see, I've got most of the others getting ready to break. I should start to break a couple of them over the next 3 or 4 days, so I should be able to get enough to get the chat border, which I just think would be interesting. Also, continue to focus on this because you can get a full level of Ganget if you don't have Bullens. I have Bullens, so it's not that big a deal, but my goal is to get the cognitive chips right here. That's what I'm shooting for. So as long as I get to 30,000, I'll be happy. None of this other stuff is important to me. You know, skill book. I've got skill books. I got a bunch of skill books because I run my dailies each day. Since Gang gets already finished limit break wise, this is really useless to me. Um, and you know, I was thinking about maybe going for the retrofit blueprints, but you know, I can get those just by running hard levels, so I don't see enough for that. And none of these blueprints can be used um, for monarchs, so they're really just useless to me. So right now, another reason that you know, one of the reasons that I'm doing that is because I'm still working on St. Louis as my second priority ship, and I'm getting there. I've got, you know, I'm on the 2 million, and I've got 31% left. So it's you know, it takes a little while, but it is what it is. But I'd like to have St. Louis. I think should be good. I think she'd be a good entry to my to the to the fleet. So that's where I'm at. But yeah, make sure that you pull today and get that over with if you want to get all the ships, and just keep chugging away. Keep popping out as many as you can in terms of you know, getting the experience that you need. You don't have to do them all, but I think you got to do about 5 of the ships to get the chat border. But it's doable, and you still got some days. So keep running those event levels and get the intelligence points. The shop's got some pretty good stuff in it. Like I said, I purchased the gun today, and there are a couple ships in there too. If you don't have enough bullets, but I've got a lot of bullets. I really haven't had too much trouble with that. So just want to make a video, let everybody know about it, and remind them that it is ending tomorrow. So make those pulls today. All right. So put a like on the video if you do like the video, and go ahead and click on the subscribe button if you're notified every time I drop a video. And this is Ken Rear signing out.